And welcome back, everybody, to my writer's room. I am Matt Wallace, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to join me on this, a special edition book release day vlog. I have a new book out today. That's what that whole nonsense was about. Where the hell did I put the book? Oh, there it is. So, I want to thank, that's the new book that I have out today. It's Gluttony Bay. Penultimate book, the second to the final book in my Sin du Jour series. It's out right now. If you get it on ebook, you can read it right away. But if you buy this lovely paperback, I'll make a lot more money. So yeah, I want to thank Minerva Zimmerman, Grumpy Martian on Twitter, fantastic author in her own right, for suggesting an interpretive dance for something I could do for my special book release day vlog. She said it jokingly, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, interpretive dance, I could pull that off. I've done Magic Mike before in my bedroom with my wife. I've done the pony. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, whatever that was. I'm not a trained professional. I should say that right away. But yeah, so it's a strange day. It's not the second to the last book. It's not that feeling of ultimate closure, ultimate finality, but I'm still shocked to find myself at this point. When I pitched this idea for the Sin du Jour series to Lee Harris in 2014 or 2015, whenever it was, I never dreamed that we'd be 6 books into this series, and I've written the final one, and that's coming out next year. I'm going to be able to conclude the whole 7. It's just an amazing thing. So I want to just thank Lee Harris at Tor.com Publishing. I want to thank Irene Gallo. I want to thank the whole crew there. I want to thank my agent, Dongwon Song, just everybody who's helped me get to this point, especially you folks who were out there reading them, whether you've been with us since the beginning, whether you joined us in the middle, whether you're just coming in now. A lot of folks still catching on to it, still catching on to this whole crazy serial novella experiment that we're doing, and that's fine. I want to thank all of you who read, because you're who make it happen. Without readers, there are no writers. So thank you very much. So the interpretive dance was good, but I didn't want to just do that. So I thought, since this is the 6th book in the Sin du Jour series, I would take 6 questions and I would answer them here on the blog. So I went to Twitter this morning and I asked people, I'm going to take 6 questions. What do you want to know? Ask me anything. It's like an AMA, only fuck Reddit, because it's a toxic shithole. So I have my, forgive me for looking off frame here, but I'm shooting this on my phone, so I can't use my phone. I actually have to use my laptop. Feels almost Stone Age to have to do that, to not be able to. But anyway, so let's do 6 questions from Twitter on this, our special book release day vlog. Megan B asks, when I read the 7th book, do I get part of my soul I sold to you back, or no, it's mine. It's my trophy. It remains mine. I'm forever connected to you, and you forever connected to me. Sleep on that. Mike Headley asks, how did you plan the series? Where did you get the idea for it? Poughkeepsie, of course, is the classic dickhead answer that a lot of people give to that. No, it's not. It can be a difficult question. This was really... I at this point, I've told the story before. I've told several versions of it. It gets muddy in my memory. I just remember I was driving to Las Vegas with my then fiance, who's now my wife, and I remember pitching her the idea in the car. And I feel like it started out as something more to do with undertakers. I remember there was a medical examiner aspect. I don't know if it was an Eat the Dead kind of thing, but it had become caterers, and I think a lot of it was influenced very heavily by Mur Lafferty's, my co-host on the Ditch Diggers podcast that I do, Hugo-nominated Ditch Diggers podcast. Don't make a big thing about it. Or do. No, Mur Lafferty's Shambling Guide series that she wrote. And I always liked the idea of the ancillary characters. The stuff we never see in the big epic fantasy, urban fantasy, epic fantasy novels. Like those questions of who's cooking the food, who's scrubbing the toilets. It's that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern kind of thing. You know, as writers, we don't really pay that stuff much mind because we're so focused on the main thrust of whatever we're doing. So I've always found that very interesting. That's kind of where I think it came from. But my earliest memory of it now is just pitching it to Nikki in the car, and her kind of being lukewarm on it at first. Like, she isn't all my ideas until I really sell her on them. But eventually she came around. So that's as good an answer as I can give on that one. B. Lynch asks, favorite obscure 1980s action movie and why? That is such an eternal question and so incredibly difficult to answer because that's my jam. Obscure 80s action movies are my jam. And I feel like all of them are obscure at this point. We have so little sense of history. I don't know. I could write a whole thesis. I could write a list of 100 and give reasons for all of them. Off the top of my head, the first one that comes to mind is Jim Cotta. I feel like I gotta go Jim Cotta on that one. It's just if you've never seen Jim Cotta, it's exactly what it sounds like if you think about it. It's gymnastics combined with martial arts. It's about Kurt Thomas, who's the Olympic gymnast son of a CIA agent who is killed in action, competing in this most deadly game style competition in a foreign country, a made-up foreign country, because they're in the mountains and they're in the perfect position to put a Star Wars satellite, an early monitoring system for nuclear weapons. That's the setup of the movie. And it's a lot of you might know it as I feel like it qualifies as obscure, but a lot of people do know it as one of these infamously bad movies, mostly because there's a scene where Kurt Thomas is in a town full of criminally insane people. And for no reason, there's a stone pommel horse in the middle of the town, and he gets up on the pommel horse and starts doing Jim Cotta, his gymnastics martial arts style. I like it because, honestly, I've always been a big believer in starting as late into the scene as possible. That's like one of my writing fiction tenets, whether it's screenwriting or a novel. And Jim Cotta is a movie that almost starts after the movie. It's really, it's bananas. Within 5 minutes, Kurt Thomas, everything I just explained to you has been explained to him, and he has signed up by the CIA to go in and compete in the tournament and find out what happened to his father and win the satellite position for the Americans. And there's no, the CIA asked him to do it. It's well, Kurt, you do Olympic-level gymnastics. Let's train you to kick people. You will be the perfect choice out of everyone in America to go compete in the most deadly games. And when it's so absurd, they take right off into it. There's no pretense. There's no Kurt has to convince them I'm the guy and I'm going to do this for my dad. It's no, everybody's on the same page right away. And he hooks up with the princess from the made-up foreign country within the first 10 minutes. It's no begrudging love story over the course of the movie. She's just there to help him. They never really explain why. And they're banging within the first 10 minutes. So it's the ultimate, it takes that principle, start as late into the scene as possible, to the absolute extreme. There's nothing, everything that could even be construed as extraneous is cut out. It's amazing. So that, Jim Cotta is my pick for my favorite obscure 80s action movie. And after this is over, I'm going to think of a bunch more and be so upset that I didn't say those, but we have to move on. Kate Chkovsky asks, what movie would you most like to give a lucha makeover? Wow, you guys, killing it, folks, killing it with the question. You're not all guys, I'm sorry. You're killing it with the questions. That is an amazing question. That's even better than the last question. I love the last question. Oh, wow, you could luchify everything and it would be better, in my opinion. I don't know. Kay asked about movies. I would love to take True Detective and turn it into Krista Faust's Hoodtown novel, which is one of my favorite novels of all time. It's about masked Mexican wrestlers. I'd like to see a True Detective style series, but with enmascarados in it. And actually, I don't even want to do True Detective. I just want to do Krista Faust's Hoodtown as a series. So I don't even know. That's the way you would pitch it. You'd be like, it's True Detective, but with masks. I would love that. That would be I'd be ejaculating everywhere all the time out of every orifice in my body. Andrew Turnwall asks, yours and your wife's favorite easy-ish to cook meal. Wow. Continuing to kill the questions. That's tough. especially being on Weight Watchers this year and trying to work on our weight. We've been cooking a lot in the house. So that's, I would have to say we love a stir fry around here. I do that, when I cook, I do that at least once a week or once every other week at the absolute least. But it's just great because it's a one pot thing. It's delicious. You put everything in there. We add cabbage to ours. My wife is Polish, so she loves cabbage. It's a thing. We put cabbage in there. We put a protein, and then we just fill it with vegetables and put all of our favorite Asian spices and flavorings in there, fry it up, and then we've got something that's good and is relatively healthy for us. So I would have to say a stir fry, and a stir fry can be many things. That's why we like a stir fry. It's like a blank canvas. It's a basic principle on which you can build any number of things. It's like the Minecraft of dishes, only not run by a racist, misogynist piece of shit. So yeah, stir fry is the answer to that question. What else do we have here? And I've already lost track of how many we've done. Blackfish asks, what's your backup plan when the government collapses? Gotta have a bug out plan, especially these days, right? I don't know. I've thought about it. We've all thought of it. It's so sad that we've all thought about it. I still have these things written on my hands. Yeah, I don't know. I'm of two minds on that. Like, the practical part of me wants to get a chopper and find an island somewhere and set up camp and just find high ground and let the world burn. Another part of me wants to stick around in the Mad Max post-apocalypse and form my own fiefdom, because I've always said I would do really well under the barter system. I just, I have good skills for a post-apocalyptic setting. I'm very large and I'm very highly trained in combat, and it would work out for me, I feel. I would be benevolent. I wouldn't be like Immortan Joe or anything. But I feel like I could form a pretty good society in the post-apocalypse. So I don't know. I'd probably do a combination of both. You go to the island, you find the high ground, you wait out the collapse of society, then you come back after the dust is starting to settle, and that's when you set up your fiefdom. Because you don't really want to be in the middle of it when the military-industrial complex is still vying for control. So it'd probably be both. So how many did I do there? What was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was that 6? Did I do 6? I think I did 6. Yeah, we'll call it 6. So that was your 6 questions on this book release day vlog. I hope you enjoyed my interpretive dance. Hope you enjoyed the questions. Thank you again for supporting me today. If you haven't, please go buy the book. It's a big deal. This is how I make my living, folks. I need you to go buy the book. So please go order it. Get it on Kindle, get it on Nook, get it however you do it. I would prefer if you ordered the paperback because I make more money, and I still prefer the tactile reading experience. So, but whatever you want to do, as long as you pick up the book, I'm eternally grateful. I will be back at you tomorrow. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments. Let me know what you think of the book in the comments. Just leave a comment. I'm Matt Wallace, and I will see you tomorrow.